Hello friends, welcome back to Block Tribe. In this video, we'll be learning about common mistakes a programmer does while writing his first smart contract. Now, before moving ahead, if you have not checked out my videos, please go ahead and check it out. I have created a lot of content on Solidity, and if you like the content, please like, share and subscribe for more. Now, why am I telling you all this? Is because in Solidity, it is a blunder to do these common mistakes because it helps you to save a lot of gas. For beginners who do not know what is gas is a unit of computational measures in Solidity. Basically, to measure a computation in Solidity, it uses gas, and the amount that we pay to interact and transact with the smart contract. Basically, whenever you transact or interact with the smart contract, you have to pay amount that is called as gas. Gas is the unit which basically calculates how much you have to pay. It is calculated by a simple idea of gas equals to gas price into gas used. Whatever gas price is there at the moment and whatever gas you are using, and the amount of gas used is determined by the operations you perform in the smart contract. Whatever operations you are doing in your functions or in your contracts are determining how much gas you are using. It is recommended to use methods which help you save gas, because in the end it is costing you money from your pocket. So the first way is to use constant and immutable variables for the variables that do not change. For constant variables, the value has to be fixed at compile time, while for immutables, it can be assigned at construction time. Now, what does this mean is, okay, let me explain you in this example. Now, here I have a contract expensive, and I have taken a uint token, and I have taken a uint public timestamp. And now in the constructor, I am just setting the value of token equals to 10. Let's also look at gas saver. So in gas saver, what I am doing is I have the same token, but I have put immutable over here, and in the same token here I have used constant, which was up here, and in the construction I have set the value of token as 2000. Now what if you see this line, right? So what it says is the value has to be fixed at compile time for constant variables. So constant variables are basically these ones. Now what I am doing, at the compile time I am setting the value here, and as it says the value has to be fixed, so I am for constant you have to set the value at the compile time, whereas for immutable it can be assigned as at the construction time. So what we are doing here is while construction we are setting the value of the immutable variable. This is the basic difference, but now how much gas difference is coming here. If you take an example of this, right? Okay, let me go ahead and deploy this, and if I I like deploy the expensive. So if I deploy the expensive and if I show you expensive, so it uses 1,57,020 gas, and the transaction cost is 1,36,555, whereas execution cost is 80,107. Whereas if you see in the gas saver, it is very low. Gas used, it uses 106,489, whereas in transaction cost it uses 92,000, whereas here it was using 136,555, and in execution cost it is using 36,119, whereas here it is using 80,000. You see the difference between the normal token and the immutable token, right? This is how you can save gas while using immutable and constant. The second mistake which people make while coding in Solidity is call data versus memory. So if we take an example, so when we pass a string in a function call, we would generally name it as string memory underscore name. So rather than that, what you can do is, if you are not changing the value of the variable which is being used in the function, then you should use, instead of memory, you can pass it as call data. Only the difference which would come is you would pass this function as pass parameters as call data, string, and you say call data rather than memory over here. So how it would make a difference? Let's go ahead and deploy. So let me pass Rahul as the parameter for this function, whereas let me pass Rahul in the second function as well. Now let me show you how much gas it consumes. For the first function, it consumes around, okay, let me see which function it points to. Okay, it's pointing to call data, and it uses 25833 as the total gas. Now when I use memory over here, right? So we had already called here. Now now you can see that memory function calls is using gas of 26,341, whereas the parameter as call data is using as 25833. So this is how you can save gas using call data versus memory. The third mistake which people do while coding in Solidity is calling a view function. A view function does not use gas when called, but if we decide to call a view function inside of another function which is a transaction, it then uses gas. So example of which is, I have created a contract in which I have taken a name array, and again then I have taken a string which is name output. Now what I'm trying to do is, I have created a view function which gets name from this particular array. I have created one more function which is get name if, and in which I have passed one index, and from that index I am going again into get name, and if that length is greater than 1, if the length of name array is greater than 1, what I'm doing, I'm just checking, I'm getting the name of that particular index from this view function, else in the name array whatever we have at that particular index, I am doing output of that. So let's go ahead and deploy and see what major difference does it cause in gas usage. In the get name if function, let's pass index of 1. So when I pass index of 1, right, so I get the name output as Himanshu. So in this case it would be coming to this particular if condition where it calls get name, and at that particular index it would get the value. Now if we check the usage of gas, okay, so this is using 71,252 gas, whereas now let me just remove this function and simply put Rahul here. Now what happens basically, now if I try to go ahead and deploy, right, now when I pass 1, right, so it would get me Rahul. Now we have understood that this is coming to this condition, right? So it brought me Rahul, and the previous case it brought me Himanshu. Now let's check the usage and the gas. Okay, it has cost us around 70,198. You see, right, how much difference it is creating in the gas usage. So it is recommended to not use your view functions inside another functions, because view functions being externally called does not cost any gas, whereas if you call it internally, it would cost you gas. So the fourth common error which people make while coding in Solidity is to use require instead of revert. So using revert instead of require is more gas efficient. You can see in the code below to see the amount of gas saved from revert when revert is used instead of require. So in this example what I have done is, I have created a contract gas saver. Now in one function I have set a require if the number is greater than 10, number too small, means if the number is smaller than 10, the number is too small. Whereas in the other function I have done is, I have taken a parameter where I am checking number is greater than smaller than 10, then I have done a revert, and the same thing done with revert, and the same thing done with require. Now let me go ahead and deploy, and I'll show you how much gas is used. So let me put a number 9 over here in set number. So when I do a set number, right, so I'll show you how much gas is being used. In set number, if we see, we are using, okay, so in the set number we are using 21898 gas. So as a transaction cost, we are using 21,898. Whereas if we check, let's go ahead and put a value in set number and revert, and then let's check. So in this we are using somewhere around 21,669. So you can see revert has its own advantages. And if you want to know more about require and revert, I have created separate videos on this. If you want to check it out, please go ahead, and I'll place the videos on the I button. So yeah, that is it for the video. I hope you save some gas after seeing this video. If you do, please like, share and subscribe for more. And if you have any doubts, please leave them in the comment section below. I'll be most happy to answer them. Thank you. That's all for the video.